pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, normally in our agenda, the first order of business after the pledge is the public comment, but I'm going to hold that temporarily because we have a matter of celebration tonight, which is we have one of our police officers, Mr. Joel Hughes, who has been a member of the Deerfield Police Department for 20 years. And Steve was just telling me that he was hired onto the Deerfield Police Department at the same time that Steve first was elected to the board. And so we're going to ask Joel to come forward. We have a certificate to give to him.
Yay!
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations, brother.
That's right.
Thanks, Joe, not retiring. Hi, Joel.
Joel,
Nice to meet
thank
you.
you for your service. So we're presenting Joel with a certificate, which is of little value in itself as paper, but it's of great value to us as a board to thank you for 20 years of service. It's unimaginable, all the things you've seen and been through in your career here.
Honestly, I didn't think I was going to last 3 months.
So thank you for your service.
Thank
and
you.
We appreciate it very much.
And thank you for letting us have him.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Yep. I'm driving over and I'm thinking,
All right, and now I will open up the floor for public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak? All right, seeing none. We will close the public comment and we'll go on with our unfinished business. So we have a matter of a review for the land that's town-owned by, up on Mount Delight Road. We have a closed bid, I believe, that we're going to open up. And Karen, you can maybe describe the fact that I can describe it, that we only have one bidder in this case who's bid on it after the solicitation of bids.
That's correct.
And so,
Do we want to describe what this is, what this land is?
It is a parcel that was taken by tax deed back in the 90s, I believe. It's 0.16 of an acre on Mount Delight Road. The notice was put in the Union Leader on the town's website, and it was sent directly to 3 of the Deerfield abutters. And that was the only response received.
Thank you.
all right, so the only response we have is from Jeffrey Fortuno, okay. And that bid is for $10,000, and it's a signed bid by him. And so with no other bids being made, I guess the bidding process is closed, and we'll accept this offer from,
I make a motion to sell the land for $10,000 to Mr. Fortuna.
Second.
all right, seconded by Jared. And any discussion on the motion to approve? All right, no discussion, then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So ordered. All right, our next,
Simple things that happens around here.
yeah, that was fairly simple, right? Okay, the next order of business is the regular business, and we have the review of the outstanding minutes of June 30th, which all of the selectmen have had electronically and have reviewed tonight as well.
Motion to approve.
And we have also the non-public session, which we will lump together with that as approved for all of the June 30 meetings.
Yes.
Motion to approve. Any second?
Second.
All right, Greg is a second. Any discussion or omissions? Any issues with the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, and then the next order of business is the vouchers and payroll manifest. So we have a voucher payroll manifest from July the 8th in the amount of $109,875.48, which is a gross payroll, gross payroll of $74,016.39.
So moved.
We already signed it, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
it's already been signed.
So basically, this is just a notification that it has been signed. And
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose our signatures already approved it.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on then to the one for today. Let's see. Yeah,
First, talk about the one that on the 8th. There's an accounts payable one that we signed on the 8th.
accounts payable on the 8th, which is $49,674.36, which has also been approved. And then we have a new accounts payable manifest for July the 15th, 2025 of $71,333.74.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to approve the accounts payable for July the 15th. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor of approving the accounts payable for July 15th as submitted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And we'll do the signature now. All right, next order of business is the new software proposal that we have from Civic Plus in Manhattan, Kansas. And this proposal is coming to us to read a new platform for our town software. And this is something we discussed previous meetings, and now we have the quote from them. So, and this, I believe, is a 1 year free, and then you start paying. There was some kind of term, maybe you can remind us of that, Karen.
Yes, so the current version of the website is going to sunset or be taken offline at the end of the year. So this agreement here is to transition to their new platform. The cost is absorbed for the first year, and then the annual renewal is for May 1st of 2026. So we have until the end of February of 26 in order to decide if you want to stay with the new platform or if you would like to transition to a different website altogether. But we're being forced to transition right now, and then they're going to absorb the cost for this first year.
And what is the cost after the 26?
The licensing fee will increase, I think, from it's about 3,000 now, 3,100 now, and it's going to increase to about 4,500
To 4,500?
to 45, yeah. So it's a pretty, percentage-wise, it's a pretty dramatic increase, but about 1,500 annually.
And I see on the end of this quote, total investment initial term, $3,128.05, and then annual recurring services subject to uplift, $4,262.50.
Yep,
So that's not quite as strong as the 4,500, right?
right.
Okay.
You had mentioned it was a much more functional platform for you to use.
This will be, yes, and it will be much more aesthetically appealing and easier for residents to be able to find information on the website.
Will this allow our department heads to change their department pages?
While we're transitioning, we could grant that access to different department heads and then set user permissions to different levels, if that's what you'd like to do.
I think that's important, that a lot of departments can't announce things without going through Steve, and it's just be a lot easier. We used to be able to do it that way.
What action do we need to take? Approve it?
So there's a signature page on the back to accept it, and I see Karen has already filled that in.
I did, because it was a timing issue to try to get it through.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept the quote from Civic Plus. And do we have any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So there's no other signature needed here, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'll get that back to you then. All right, then the next order of business is I don't think there's any more signature correspondence. Is that correct, Karen?
I have some documents for signatures.
Okay.
I have an application for reimbursement to the state in which state forest land is situated. So Chris has filled this out with the values per acre for Bear Brook, Pawtuckaway, and Woodman State Forest. I just need the board's signatures here to submit this to DRA.
So you said this was a reimbursement?
Yes.
So there's three amounts here, 2,300, oh, excuse me. The total assessed value is 2,335,200 on Bear Brook State Park, and the value per acre is $1,279.56. Number of acres, 1,825. Pawtuckaway Park is 500 acres, and their total value is about 971,000. And Woodman State Forest is 87 acres, 88 acres, and its value is 143,200. So what is the reimbursement amount on these? I don't see it listed. Those three? And that says per acre. So does that mean that 1,800 acres times that number is the reimbursement amount?
Let me ask Chris, because it's the first time I've
Okay.
seen that form. Do you want to have the next document? Well,
And it's citing here that the reason is because of the ongoing reevaluation or revaluation of the properties. Application for reimbursement to towns and cities in which federal and state forest land is situated. So when they give the number of acres and the amount per acre, it's implied that you're multiplying those together.
Yes.
Which would be,
And they are to reimburse,
we are to reimburse them.
they're gonna reimburse us, or say, we're technically voiding this amount. They're most probably going to agree to the assessment, and then because they're the state, they don't have to pay the taxes. But we're putting a number there.
Is that consistent, Karen, with what you understand about it? What Steve is explaining?
I mean, states generally don't pay taxes to the town, but that's the first time I had seen that form.
But the number has to be out there somewhere.
Just
The number
officially?
we're not paying is,
We're looking for reimbursement, though.
But it's a form submitting for reimbursement to the
Deerfield's
town.
looking for reimbursement.
Yeah, it says that the town of Deerfield hereby makes application for reimbursement pursuant to RSA 227H based on the facts as set forth herein, and then it gives the information.
Why don't we table that until I can get more information from Chris and from Evan?
Good idea.
That way you
we have
guys,
to, we can deal with it at the next meeting.
yeah, that way you know exactly what you're signing and what this is. I have two notices of intent to cut. One is for map 418, lot 30, for a 2-acre cut, and the other is map 419, lot 31, for a 65-acre cut.
Okay. I think we can take these together. So one is a 2-acre cut and one is a 65 cut. There's no voting on it, it's just getting notified that we will collect the tax.
You have until September 1st to fill this form out, so you have plenty of time.
All right. Anything else?
I have this form to State of New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration stating that you will not be collecting inventories of taxable property. So those are the forms that you would send, or some towns send them to every single property in town saying how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what did you upgrade this year? And this town elects not to do those forms.
And this is consistent with previous years?
Yes,
So this is to be signed by the selectmen? So we're just approving the taking of the position not to do this, right?
correct.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or any further explanation needed? All right. All in favor of having this signed to not collect the, this PA 28 form, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Oh, wow. Sorry.
All right, next.
I have the 2025 MS 535 is prepared by the auditors. So this is the report to submit to DRA that shows 2024's budget versus actual for expenditures and revenues.
So is this something that we're approving to send to DRA
Yes,
as prepared, right?
yes.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the 2025 MS 535, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We have a name, position, and signature here.
I have a request for a refund for a tax refund. This was due to an overpayment, so the resident paid his taxes and they were also paid by his escrow account. So this is a request by Kelly to bring the account back to a zero balance.
Motion to issue the refund?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to issue a refund on map 418, lot 69, in the amount of $3,880. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Um, 13 Pine Ave was taken by tax deed back in February. The notice for the first right of refusal was sent to the property owners back in April, and then we had to wait 90 days before we could proceed with public auction. So I did reach out to JSJ Auctions, who is the vendor that the town has used on 2 previous occasions to auction tax deeded properties, and I have an agreement here for them to proceed with listing 13 Pine Ave.
And what is the fee schedule for their services?
The fee schedule is similar to what you've done in the past. They outlay all of the upfront costs, and then it is absorbed by, depending on how much you receive back. Sold, there's no fees, expenses by the town. So all buyers will be required to put a deposit down, and they recommend $10,000, and then from that deposit is how they get reimbursed back their fees.
All right, so there are no fees or expenses paid by the town of Deerfield for the auctioneer's services.
Unless you just change your mind and they've outlaid a bunch of money.
Motion to approve the contract with the auctioneer?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract with JSJ Auctions. Any further discussion or comment?
Can I see it real quick?
Sure. And it looks like maybe there's only one signature on that.
Yes.
And it says that the auctioneer gets 10% of the proceeds from the buyer.
You good with that?
All right, we have a motion and a second. I assume it includes the chairman signing for the board.
Yes.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all in favor of approving the auction contract signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I'll just hand that back to you.
The lease for the town's postage meter is coming due in November. There's a 4-month grace period that we can renew our lease early. And that would allow us to get a slightly lower rate than if we were to wait, just because of some of the tariffs that he knows are coming down. It still is an increase in what we're currently paying now, so basically the rate goes from $156.13 a month, billed quarterly now, and it's a $23.80 increase per month, so it will increase to $179.93 per month, billed quarterly. So it's the same machine that we currently have now, it's just a slightly increase in the rate.
And what's the discount if we sign up now and pay the extra 4 months at the higher rate?
They don't know exactly what the rate is, but he's suspecting that the tariffs will cause a bigger jump than if we just were to sign now.
I see. So we're not saving money, we're just locking in a rate.
A lower rate than you would if you waited.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And there's just 2 signatures required here by the chair.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the re-upping of the lease for the postage machine as stated by the town clerk, or excuse me, the town administrator. Any further discussion?
Is this the machine that's rented from a private party, from a private company?
It's rented by Formax in Dover.
Are there other companies that rent those things?
The other big competitor of Formax is Pitney Bowes. So Formax is
Pitney
generally slightly less expensive than Pitney Bowes.
Okay.
Is this something that you'd prefer to go out on a bid for?
I don't think so.
Right, it's not an amount that would warrant that, right? Okay. All right, all in favor of approving this new lease for the postage machine, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
You just need to sign it.
The town is currently part of an energy consortium with 16 other towns and schools. Right now, the current rate that you have locked in is 8.9 cents. The Eversource default rate is slated to increase to 11.19 cents in August. And we're up for renewal pricing with the group. So if you lock in with the group for a period of 3 years, you can lock in a rate of 10.74 cents for 36 months. Or if you elected to do just a 12-month term, it would be 11.8 cents. And the Eversource default rate again is 11.19 cents. So the default rate would be a little bit less expensive than if you were to do a 12-month term, but more expensive if you were to lock in for a 3-year term.
This is like a speculation gamble.
Yeah, because Eversource, they change their rates every 6 months, so.
So the 11.19 would be only for a 6-month period.
Yeah, and then generally they raise them, or they reevaluate their rates again in February.
Could we see what the fluctuation has been over the last, say, 3 or 4 years? Just to know if, it makes sense to lock in for 36 months?
I can ask Ryan for that information. I don't have the data.
This is a pretty big jump from 8.9 to 11.19.
Yeah, but I think the 8.9 was a pretty bit dramatic decrease, if I remember correctly. I think it was pretty substantially the other way, and then it dropped, and now it's
Yeah,
trending back.
that's why I'd worry about signing on for a long term if there was a dramatic drop at one point.
Yeah, that's the gamble.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to see if there's any rhyme or reason to it, or,
All right.
It fluxes with natural gas prices.
Is there any timing issue on signing this? Can we go till the next meeting and get some further data?
You can, but the rate will continue to change as it goes.
Right, this Eversource rate would presumably be subject to a change.
The Eversource rate would stay the same. The rate that you'd be able to lock in with standard power will be variable.
I see. All right, sounds like we want to get some more information, right? Okay.
I have one more bid question, and then I have a memo from the town clerk. So the rate was locked in at 261 with Dead River per gallon for diesel. And then due to the timing, we sent in the bid, the contract saying that we were locking in the pricing. She just sent me back the contracts last week, and she said that in between the time that the bid was awarded and the time that we were going to execute the contract, diesel prices have increased, and they will not honor the bid rate. And I asked her why that was. I says there was no indication on the bid form that it was only good for so many days, but they won't honor the rate that they've given you. So the rate, it was about $2.81, was slightly higher, but that's only good until 2 p.m. every day. So it's still lower than the rate that Hartman had offered. So do you want me to go ahead and lock that in, or do you wish to proceed with a different vendor?
So we had, I think, 3 or 4 bids, right?
You only had 2 for diesel. It was just Dead River, and
So Hartman was how much?
Hartman was, I think, at 321. They were a lot higher. So this one is still less than Hartman, but it's frustrating that they won't honor a bid, or when they didn't ever specify that there was a deadline.
I remember questioning that, saying, is that definitely on-road diesel? And
It is definitely on-road diesel.
everything at the time, and I don't really.
It seemed
It
too
still
good to
sounds
be
like
true, right?
our move at 281, but I don't really like this game plan.
Yeah,
And is this violating our kind of rebidding procedure, and
It's,
is it,
And it's typical Dead River.
yeah, see, I'm not familiar with them, but I.
if Dead
couldn't
River's gonna
believe the price.
rebid, should we ask
If the-
Hartman to
If the
rebid?
bid is changed, we have an obligation to ask everyone who did bid to make another bid.
So we should give Hartman a chance to bid. Now, of course, we've just publicly announced what
Right.
the Dead River bid was.
Right, but their bid price would particularly change because she'll only lock it in until 2 p.m. each day. So I could send an email to them tomorrow morning, to the both of them, and give them a firm deadline.
Can we ask them to bid with enough time for us to sign up for it before
And
they
well, I
becomes
guess
invalid?
that's the other question, right, is if they both give you a new number, do you authorize me to just select the lower bidder, or do you want it to wait until the next meeting and for me to say, I need a number that is valid on
Do
7/28?
the bid process for diesel because they're not following the rules.
Pete got his hand up.
Pete, do you want to speak to this?
Oh,
Right.
How is a bid ever valid if it's only good till 2 o'clock?
Right.
We'll
So
never
I
have
think
a-
we have to, a stipulation would be to give us a bid that's valid for at least a few days so that we
at
can
least until our next
sign up
meeting.
for it without being
You wanna
told that
wait
it's not
till the next
valid
meeting?
anymore.
Yeah. Just say, when's our next meeting? The 21st, so until the 22nd.
Was that the only fuel we are purchasing with them?
Yes.
Who's doing the heating oil?
Palmer Gas. Palmer was awarded,
I truly believe because they did not abide by the rules that we need to go through the whole bid process again.
Not just to the 2 that bid.
Not just the 2 that bid. Put the thing out for bid again and state the rules. And, because I'm not comfortable playing that game. That's not right, that it was till 2 p.m.
do you want it noticed in the paper again, or just on the website, the whole thing? Okay.
I really believe we have to do that.
How do the other board members feel?
My concern is if they have to rebid, they ought probably have the position of they don't have to rebid. And now we might get stuck in the 3s. So, I don't know, it feels like being strong-armed, but
I don't want to do business with them, the way they're operating. I understand they have prices to worry about, but to hold a bid to 2 p.m. on the day of the bid is kind of ridiculous.
So I think we have, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I said that was the argument, right? She said, well, we can't honor that price because fuel prices are much higher today. We would lose money. And I said, you could honor that bid. I said, it's a business decision and you're choosing not to make it.
yeah, I would actually tell them that due to the legal bid process that we have to abide by, either that bid stands or we can't do business with them.
Maybe, we have to rebid it all again.
You know, if they're willing to abide by what they originally submitted on paper, that's what we approve, we can't go back on that, can't change the number.
If you can't hold that bid, then we have to start the bid process over.
Okay.
But I think it's fair for the vendor to say, well, how long do you want me to hold it for? A couple of days, or are you talking a couple of weeks?
They have to hold it for at least the bid process, because they know that we meet every 2
They know
weeks
what
at 5
day
PM,
we-
5:30 PM.
We go through the bid process.
I doubt if they're going to
In the
hold
past,
that.
it's been, okay, you got to call the next morning, and that's what it is.
So we're going to start the process over. We're going to ask for any vendor to bid it by the next meeting date, I guess, right? And then we'll open the bids, select the lowest one, and call them the next morning with our decision. And risk all being in the threes.
Yeah.
I mean,
if
to Jared's point, it's,
It most probably is going to be.
We have to follow the procedure.
yeah. So even though we wanted to lock in 2.81, we don't want to do that and violate the procedure.
On a personal deal, I would lock it in at 281, but on a municipal deal where we have to follow it and keep things fair,
Right.
we can't.
All right, any other discussion? All right, then that's what we will do.
Okay. And I have the July memo from Kelly Roberts, the town clerk tax collector. First half 2025 property tax bill. She's collected over 95% of the property taxes for the first half of 2025, which were assigned to her by the Board of Selectmen. It's right in line with the usual trend, as the town typically collects about 90% by the due date. The remaining balance will be collected throughout the year, and any unpaid taxes will be included in the lien process next year. Vacation office hours, the week of August 11th. Kelly will be on vacation, and since they are short-staffed and Diane only works 20 hours per week, the office hours will be adjusted that week. So the public office hours will be Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8 a.m. to noon, and then on Tuesday will be regular evening hours, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. During non-public hours, Diane will focus on deposits and accounting tasks, and the schedule has been posted on the town's website, the clerk's official Facebook page, and Kelly thanks you for your understanding. Counter clerk job interviews, it was posted on the website and NHMA, and Kelly and I will begin interviews this Wednesday, the 14th. She will keep the community informed of the selection, and that is that. She will provide a more in-depth department update after the civil forfeiture deadline, as well as after she sends out the notice of impending tax lien for 2024 property taxes. And this will be attached to the minutes, and there's some revenue information here should the board wish to see it.
So we have had, hours changing for the clerk office recent past, and of course, there's some citizens complaining about the curtailed counter hours. And does this then represent, Karen, as you understand it, a further curtailing, or is this just a rearrangement of the hours,
Oh, that's just for the 1 week.
just for that 1 week?
Yep.
Right.
Why couldn't Diane just take over Kelly's hours for that week?
I think you could ask, I think that's a conversation you could have with Kelly if you'd like, but I'm guessing, if I had to guess, it's budgetary reasons to stay on the payroll budget.
That hours, so that budget, I wouldn't think it would be budgetary.
Well, because you're paying Kelly to be on vacation, right? She's paid her salary regardless, and then Diane's only budgeted for 20 hours per week, so that's what she will continue to work. I don't think that there's additional hours built into the budget to cover those vacation hours. I think that's something you could consider.
But we've been out with a third person for,
There is some savings from the lack of the second clerk.
I don't know, I'm sure if they thought about it. And
All right, so this is just information then for us, right?
Yes.
As a memo. Anybody want to read that?
I'd like to. You can go ahead while I read this if you want.
That's all I
Okay.
have for public session.
What's that?
I said that's all I have for public session, and then you have that gentleman in other business from Comcast.
Right, so we have an other business, that's the end of the town administrator report, other business. So I've had some calls from some citizens up on Range Road primarily about the weekend. Over the weekend, we had the road rally that was a Massachusetts company, as I understand it, and they are partnering with some of the private property owner at Ridge and Middle Road there. And it was quite a large event with several hundred people and, you know, a big event, and apparently quite successful by many people's assessment. But there are some people who have complained about the noise and the parking on the street that congested Range Road for some period of time. So as you might imagine, the abutting property owners were kind of not in favor of it. But so I'm not making any judgment about, you know, the rally itself, but I am bringing it up, and my suggestion is that we ask the town clerk to satisfy the questions of these abutters, which is primarily around the process that we use to approve or permit such a large-scale event, and to make sure that we did follow all the procedures that we should have followed as a town, and also around the police and fire protection requirements for large parties and gatherings, and also to find out if there's any ramification of being a profit or nonprofit kind of gathering.
Who gave permission?
So I believe that this was discussed like a year ago when they first started planning this. I kind of remember that, but that's part of what Karen will look into, whether the board actually discussed this particular event from this company, as I said, a Massachusetts company that does these events in all over New England, apparently.
I don't remember it, but I do know there was fire department detail there.
Yeah, they did have police detail, I believe.
So we don't know who gave the approval.
Well,
Did we?
you don't know. That's part of what I'm asking
Okay.
Karen to check out.
It was 100% held on private property, right?
Right.
Does that require approval?
Well, if
That's
it's
the
over,
thing I'm trying to,
if it's over a certain number, and I'm not sure what the number is, 100 or something like that, there is a requirement to be reviewed by the fire chief and the police chief for providing services, and like the Deerfield Fair is an example of that. And I don't know if there's any permit per se to do such an event, like a private party. But a private party, of course, is a nonprofit event. It's not a company making money. So I'm not really sure, and that's why I'm
I got an
suggesting.
email today, it's the first I've heard of it, and the person wanted to know what was the permitting process. Well, I'm not aware of what the permitting process was.
Exactly.
Well, that's like the Lion does the run, but they come to us for permission to do it
But
with
they're
parking
using
and.
town property.
Yeah.
Well,
They
they're
work
using the
over
roads,
Church
yeah.
Street and the roads.
Okay,
If this was all on private property, I don't know what you'd have to really look into that.
right.
But I think it's a party.
Right.
And who knows, I mean, was it for a profit or was it just the
That's-
equivalent of a big ball game?
That's all the questions.
Yeah.
And I want the public, because I know there's a little bit of controversy in the public about this, but the public shouldn't interpret our investigating it as interpreting that we're against that kind of an event or anything like that. A lot of people in the town enjoyed that event. But we do want to make sure that we are following town policies, and it has been questioned. So since we don't know the answers, I suggest we get them.
Some towns do require large event permits for events such as this. It doesn't have to have a cost, but it's really just to put the town on notice that you're having a large gathering. You have public safety officials checking to make sure that there's parking. Is there alcohol served? Do you need, are you going to require a police detail or a fire detail? Those kinds of questions can be asked.
Well, obviously, both chiefs knew about it, if there was fire and police protection over there. Well, I don't know why we didn't. Unless, like you
read-
said, it was last year's, I don't know.
We'll get the information when you have it.
Yep.
Is there any other business? All right, seeing none.
I just wanted to ask Pete how we're doing on Range Road. Where are we at Range Road? The culvert and stuff, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, we all set with the money, the grants and stuff for everything? We gonna make the deadline?
Money or the town?
The FEMA,
Right now, the town's gonna need to pay for it and then get reimbursed by FEMA.
right, but I thought there was a deadline for FEMA money. I just was
It's a
asking,
deadline to get it in because of the FEMA money we've already accepted.
right?
We've already they've given us money, we've accepted it, and they have a deadline.
Right?
When we pay for the culvert, they will give us more money.
Okay.
But the problem is the deadline to get it in is sometime in September, Pete?
Right? I understand that. I'm just asking.
I think it has to be completed by November of this year.
I'm just asking if we're gonna hit the deadline, that's all, if we were scheduled for it,
If the culvert gets built,
if.
I was just going to
And we
ask you to
can't
come to
build
the
it.
desk.
the culvert gets built in time in September.
Mm-hmm.
And the weather permitting. You can.
can't do that either.
You would be able to get it in. If we have the culvert and the weather prohibits us, then we ask for an extension. That's
Okay.
what we need to do.
Well, we couldn't be granted that extension necessarily, right? Or would they?
Well, there's a chance they could say no. I mean, they've already given money, so
Right,
I would think that if they were, unless they don't want to give any more money,
right,
then at that point, then you're gonna have to use the money from the warrant article, pay for the box, and then wait till next year to put it in.
okay.
I mean, unless you don't use the 257 line to pay other bills, you could use that money to pay for the box, and then the warrant article money to pay for it to be installed.
Okay.
So since we're on other business, we have a gentleman here. He works for fiber optic. They're going to be installing fiber optic in town. And I suggested that he'd come in and talk to you guys and let you know, so, because I've already gotten phone calls because of the dig safe marks on the road.
Right.
And people are wondering about what's going on. And basically, they're in town to install fiber optic cable, and I'm gonna let him take over.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is not on the official agenda, but the gentleman did request that we hear his thing, and I think we're all in favor of doing that.
Sorry to barge in. My name's Rick Mayo. I'm with Mira Company. We're a contractor for Comcast. I believe Comcast has signed the franchise agreement to bring service into Deerfield. Our part of this construction process is putting in some underground conduit ahead of time so that when they start stringing the fiber on the poles, where there's dips that go underground, like for the high tension power lines and whatnot, some of those roadways, the conduit's in place for them. And there are some neighborhoods as well, and I do have a list here, that we'd like to be able to go in and install with the utility easement, get that conduit all in place as well. We're looking to get this done, obviously, again, ahead of time. They're coming in the fall, but we don't want to be doing the underground in the fall just because the ground freezes up, and of course, that's not good for digging. So I do have, and I did give these to Pete as well. I've got some packages that I did put together, just kind of showing the roadways that I can give to you. And also like some high-level sketches as far as the pathway that we're looking to take. It's basically following the existing easement that's there right now for these utility companies.
So is all this work going to be done within the easement that is existing for the power company? Or are you
Yes.
having to get temporary easements for any property owners?
No, we are going to basically follow existing, you have, the phone, CCI, the power company, and the existing cable company, I believe that's Breeze Line. We're going to be right within that easement as well, most of it's along the side of the roadways.
All
What do you
right.
need from us?
I just wanted to give you all the heads up and your blessing. I did have our company, Mira Company, had them we sent a bond in today, $20,000 bond, and also certificate of insurance. I can give you a copy of it, or whoever would like a copy of it, but I believe it was emailed. If not, it's going to be mailed in as well.
And who are you doing this work for? Under
Comcast.
Comcast.
Yes, sir.
And there were a number of people who were concerned about dig safe markings, like on Wild Turkey Road and a
Yeah,
few
Wild
other roads
Turkey
like
is
that.
one.
That answers the question. We know what's going on.
And as soon as, as long as we have your blessing, we are going to put out notices as well with all of our contact information for the residents to call us, because I'm sure they're going to have concerns. I mean, obviously, we're going to be in there doing some digging. we'd like to make contact with them before that happens, but just didn't want to, without everyone's okay.
So do we feel any need to review the list of roadways and properties that it's affecting?
Everybody will be very happy that another cable company is coming.
Competition is good.
Yes.
So this is gonna be mostly open trench digging?
Yes.
Conduit land?
Yes, sir.
Is there a finished agreement of how anything that's going across a yard or within the edge of somebody's finished right-of-way, that's all gonna be put back nicely?
Absolutely. I have some photos and we're working, I can work with Pete, but our restoration is going to consist of, if we do a driveway apron cut, we use hot mix asphalt, we do saw cutting, we loam and seed, we'll make sure things look good, if not better than what they did before we started.
And we hold a bond on that?
I have a $20,000 bond as well, but.
We have another question from the town administrator.
The town doesn't have a current franchise agreement with Comcast.
Okay, well, I thought they did because they sent me in here, so,
We do not, so
okay. Yeah, are
maybe they should call me.
Okay, are they signing one or something? Because they're coming in to start building, I believe?
They haven't presented the town with anything.
They haven't, okay.
No.
Interesting.
Uh-oh.
So I guess I was going to ask if they had acquired Breeze Line because we have just recently
Nope.
signed an extension, but then you said, you listed Breeze Line as one of the utilities.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, okay, interesting.
do you want to leave me your card so that we could follow up?
Oh, I definitely will.
Yeah, we might want to jack that out with them.
It was going so well until that point.
Hell of a time to find out you're in the wrong
Well, I'm
town.
sure,
Deerfield.
you know what?
I thought they
give
refused
you
to come
this.
to Deerfield.
Yeah,
They did, didn't
flat out refused to come here for years.
Right.
Right, yeah, I was told, Deerfield, it's on the list as well, so here's our COI, here is a bond.
Someone did all
Certainly
the
can't
work.
hurt.
Someone did all the work.
You shouldn't let them in.
Some
No, you
photos here that I was
Right,
gonna
right.
find, but I mean, if you need anything else, there's my information. Do you have any information as far as, well, I can write down the info. Okay, I'll have them get a hold of you guys. Sorry about that. Okay, Karen. Okay. Very good. So when we get this all squared away, we'll be in touch. 8811. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you guys want me to leave you with this, the
Sure.
list as
Leave
well?
anything
Just
you
so
want us
have
to
them
look
when they
at.
square that away. And I can also leave some photos as well, so you can see, the restoration along the edges of the road on some other projects that
Don't
we've
worry,
worked
you're
on
on
as
Facebook
well.
already.
Yeah,
Okay. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
thank you, sir.
All right, take care, everyone.
Me too.
All right, final call for any other business? All right. Then we are going to go into a non-public, but before we do that, we're going to allow the public to have its final comments. So is there any public comment at this time? Anybody? Harriet?
Was there a bid process for the Civic Plus?
The new software platform.
Yeah.
Not at this time, because that's our current vendor, so they're doing the upgrades at this time, no charge. So the rates that the board was given was to prepare you for potential increases for '26. Or you could go choose a bid process and go out to bid next year.
Right, if we would go to a new vendor, we'd go through the bid process.
So we don't get bids if we're not buying new software?
Right, in this case, we're not doing anything different than we were already doing,
Just an update.
just an update with no cost. So once there's a decision to make a new cost or a new contract, we
Okay.
have to consider that.
The second thing I have is, I didn't hear, and maybe I wasn't here, discussion about the office being closed Fridays in various areas. And was there a reduction in pay for those people who are on, say, salary for no longer opening on a Friday or being here on a Friday?
So Karen, can you put any numbers to these apparent curtailed hours that she's talking about?
I guess it depends which,
What hours exactly are you talking about? Are you talking about the town office hours, the town clerk hours? What hours are you talking about?
Well, there's more of the town offices now closed on Friday, and people not coming in on Friday, especially the town clerk. And why can't there be the office open with the hired help? I just don't feel
It
this
is a
was
decision
done
by
with
the town
planning.
clerk. It is the town clerk's office and their decision on what hours they open.
Yeah, but I think her question is a little broader than that, because apparently she's saying that there's other offices of the town offices, not the clerk, which are also not open
Other
on Friday.
offices are not open.
That's what I was asking Karen,
Friday.
assessing and building is not open on Fridays.
but they were in the
They were
past.
never open on Fridays.
Oh, they were never open on Friday. Okay.
So both are not our decision,
I'm
right?
sorry, Cindy, I can't hear you.
But neither one are our decision. The
Exactly.
library has a trustee and Kelly runs her own office.
This has all come about without any input from citizens or the citizens having a right to speak about it. And I'm really feeling government is run for citizens, and yet we have citizens not being served because some people want Friday off. I'm not pleased. And I know it's not your responsibility for the library or the town clerk maybe, but the town clerk, people who work for the town, work in the town clerk's office. They are not the town clerk's personal employees.
All right, I suggest that we take Ms. Katie's comment under advisement and ask the town clerk to
I
advise us on
think
it.
I'd like to see a little more study done about how are we serving the citizens' needs in the town? And I understand people like time off, but I think it's the citizens that we have these offices for, not the people who work in them.
If I recall correctly, I believe Kelly had addressed the change in her office hours, I think in her April memo, which was attached to the selectmen's minutes. And if the public has more questions about Kelly's office or her hours, I would suggest that they follow up with her.
I thought the library put out a statement too, saying why they were shifting hours.
I
around.
believe they
Yeah, right.
did. I
It was
believe they
while
had
back.
a couple of public meetings about it and the trustees to discuss it. And I also believe that they did put it in their newsletter.
Okay, but the citizens are voicing concern about the curtailing of hours, so.
While I know we've had several hour shifts over the past few months in various departments, would it be inappropriate to ask the department heads who are making these decisions? I know we're getting a full report. Would it be okay to ask them in person to come in here to a meeting and make a small presentation to explain why themselves?
Would this only apply to those that have changed or to all of them?
Department head, whether
Want
it's
it changed.
library or town clerk. I mean, they do a great job documenting it, but the only other layer of why they can be explained would be a face-to-face explanation.
So for the benefit of the public
For the
primarily,
benefit
because
of
we
the
get
public,
reports.
so we're not trying to relay why or read it. They
Yeah.
can make their own, because they're making these decisions independently.
We have
Kelly,
it,
The trustees of let them explain why, face-to-face, on camera, why it's happening, and, because we have no control over those departments.
We have posted the memos that explain it to our minutes.
I know.
And
but the-
also, it's been posted on Facebook by Kelly, to the people that read Facebook. So there has been, it's not like we're not communicating it.
Oh, I agree with Jared, though. Any more communication is better.
Yeah, I'd rather
And
see,
a lot of times too, explain it to me, just so I know.
Right.
I'd rather see it come across as a warning, we're going to be doing this. Instead of this is what we did and why, we're anticipating doing this in the next week, 2 weeks, whatever it may be.
Which she did in the memo, but I agree with Jared that being face-to-face
Yeah.
on camera is another good way
It's
of
a big
communication.
decision, because it affects everybody in town.
Yep.
Do it face-to-face.
Yeah.
All right, I sense where there's a consensus to go with Jared's suggestion that we invite them to come in, those that have changed hours, or everyone, even if they haven't. Of course, there wouldn't be anything for them to say if they were-
Yeah, and there's no debate over it. We
Right,
can't
just-
change that, but they can at least make their presentation.
And some of these things could be anticipated, but some couldn't with staffing changes and, just take it as they come, I guess.
So is that just Kelly and Ann at the moment, or you want all the department heads that work for the town?
changed hours.
I think so.
But we could make it where any department head who's making a substantial change in hours, operating hours or otherwise.
Okay, I think that'll just be two in this case.
Yeah.
All right, so let's invite them to do that at Jared's.
also a reduction in salary since they're no longer working those hours?
Was it a reduction in hours or just a shifting of hours?
Shifting.
Yeah,
In some cases, I think there was some reducing of a few hours.
okay.
All right, Ed Cross.
Ed Cross, Thurston Pond Road. I know I was here at the last meeting talking about current use change specifically on a couple of my properties and potentially other properties. And when I left that meeting, before I left that meeting or during that conversation, you had talked about bringing yourselves up to speed or becoming aware or inquiring. I'm not sure exactly what the wording was. And I know I'm not on the agenda to speak about it specifically, so you may not be able to answer the question. But I was curious, I just thought it was going to be mentioned in existing business. So when I didn't see it, that's why I'm here. And if I need to be put on the agenda at the next meeting so that we can have a more in-depth conversation, that would be great.
I would suggest that that's probably the best way to handle it.
Then if you could put me on the agenda for the next meeting, that would be great, Karen. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Ed.
Tom Dillon, Haynes Road. I just thought I could perhaps give you a little more background on why perhaps people are kind of upset about all these hours going away. I can tell you that I have been attending the library trustee meetings since April when they cut their hours. And they were crystal clear. They have been crystal clear in several statements, including one on the library website, that it was directly attributable to the default budget and that they simply did not have the money to be open on Friday. I can also tell you that in June, their last meeting, they discussed giving 2 employees raises. It's kind of hard to reconcile those 2 statements. So it would be nice if you guys could maybe get some better answers for them about what they're doing there.
Well, I think you've heard that we are intending to do that. So let's see what Ann and Kelly have to say about it. Thank you, Tom.
Suzanne Steele, 8 Harvey Road. I'm actually here to talk about transfer station stuff. I spoke with Missy earlier today, and she said that there was a letter that she sent to all of you, and she was hoping that it was going to be read today in the meeting, and so I didn't know if that had happened. I just got here now, so I missed it if that was read for people.
Yeah, it was not, and it's actually an oversight, I think, because it was a letter to all of us. Or how did you want to handle it?
Right, but it's information that you'll need to discuss in non-public first, and then you can,
Yeah, that's one of the subjects in our non-public.
Okay. Well, then I'll just speak to some of the concepts that she brought up, along with some things that I wanted to make you all aware of. I know that you're being diligent, trying to get the word out for new employees there. That facility is highly understaffed. If you've been to the facility anytime recently, you can see that it really, they're doing as well as they can, but they can't keep up with everything. It may look messy on the ground. Of course, you got the metal. There was some issues with that. And so there's just a whole lot going on without a lot of people. So I know that, you have one person, at least one person that's, in the running with experience, which is a wonderful thing because there's a lot to learn. So I hope that that can move forward because there's a lot of help that is needed there. A couple of things other as well is I know that we've talked for some time about using the line item in the budget for clothing, for shirts for the staff. It could go a long way, and I know about a year now we've been talking about shirts for the staff. So I don't know if there's any movement there, but that would be really nice, especially with potential new people. And with the newest person that's just going through the training, that would be really a great thing to show a presence that's professional and outward looking to the residents so that they can see that there's staff people. There's an email that I get from New Hampshire Recycles. All of you could subscribe to it if you so choose. It's called Full of Scrap. And the first thing that's been highlighted is as of July 1st, it's illegal for anyone to dispose of lithium-ion batteries. And they have free signage along that could be downloaded. So if the town downloaded these PDFs and printed it on one of the printers, that could then be posted on one of the A-frame signs at the transfer station to communicate to the residents what needs to be done, because it further says all transfer stations need to post informational signs at the facility giving notice of the disposal prohibitions. So, there are New Hampshire, the beautiful signs, those are points and other things, but they do have a lot of free things that just need to be printed. So I really encourage the board to look at that, and I'm happy to send this to anyone who wants that information. I know I'm over my time limit, so thank you.
Thank you, Susanna.
Errol Rhodes, Church Street. A couple of clarification points and one question. An earlier speaker talked about an apparent discrepancy between hours and employee raises. A material fact in that same discussion at the trustees library meeting is that they also lost somebody who was working there. So the staff is actually reduced in the context of that apparent discrepancy. So that's a factual point. And also on the library side, in terms of the hours, am I mistaken in thinking that Ann came and spoke with you all about it as it was happening? I think she was here at some point. So just a thought. The question, the software issue on Civic Plus, is that compatible with the other big software change to .gov?
it will be, yes.
It is? So, and so that'll be a double upgrade of usability.
Yes. And all
Exciting.
of it for no money
Well, well, right up front anyway.
right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Errol.
Scott Shepherd, Brown Road. One question regarding the previous discussion. Who was the previous diesel providers?
Hartman.
Hartman? So we've never had Dead
Oh,
River?
it's Hafner's now, but it was Hartman Oil, yes.
So we've never worked with Dead River in the past? Okay. The other thing is, what does it take for the board to authorize the road agent to get some gravel for Brown Road that isn't so coarse that you can't hardly drive on it? Because it's ridiculous.
We could pass on what you're asking to him, because this is the first we've heard of it.
Every time you grade it, which I respect and appreciate grading and keeping the road up, but you can't grade and compact 2 and 3 inch crushed stone. That's what you got, because that's what he put on as a base layer with not enough over it, and you just have a mess every time.
I would assume if he was here, he would say that you need that type of ballast, that size ballast to
That's great,
prevent
but you
the
need this
washout.
much over it, so you got something to work with, so you're not digging it up every time.
Yeah, but then when the storms come, it's going to wash that overage off again,
Well,
right?
then you come out and you drive over it, and you please tell me that you appreciate driving on it, because I don't think you would.
Rather than have a discussion, how about we just let Pete know that this resident has been here and he has a problem with Brown Road.
And I have spoken to Pete myself personally several times in the
That's
past.
all we can do, though, is
Okay.
speak to Pete.
Then I would appreciate if you could at least, let's pave it. Let's do something about it that betters the
Will
road.
never be paid.
Well, as long as you're on the board.
No,
Maybe somebody else that gets
All right.
voted in will help.
Thank you, Scott. Anybody else? All right, seeing none other public comment, we'll go into our non-public session under RSA 91A32, which Cindy will read the justification for non-public.
It's a non-public session, 91A3, Roman 2, B and D, the hiring of any person as a public employee, and consideration of the acquisition, sale, or lease of real or personal property which, if discussed in public, would likely benefit a party or parties whose interests are adverse to those of the general community.
All right,
is that a motion?
Motion.
Second?
so we have motion and second to enter in non-public for that justification, and it's a roll call, so,
Yes.
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 and yes. All right, the board has concluded its non-public session, and
Seal the minutes of the non-public session?
we have a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of sealing the minutes of the non-public session signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I would make a motion that we hire to work at the transfer station for $25 an hour, Mr.
David Bowles.
David Bowles.
On Thursday, I guess it is, right?
On
Yes.
Thursday.
On
Second.
Thursday. We have a motion and a second to hire David Bowles to work on Thursday for $25 an hour at the transfer station. And do we have any further discussion?
And that's for 8 hours a week, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
8 hours a
I'd
week.
like to say that he's up-to-date certified level 2.
He is a senior principal operator.
So
All right.
20 years of experience.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, seeing no other discussion, all in favor of hiring David Bowles at $25 an hour, 8 hours a week, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. You have a second?
I wanted to make one quick comment.
All right.
I got several very positive phone calls. I wanted to say this earlier, but I got sidetracked. I got several very positive comments about the roadside ditching and the amount of work they did with the excavator while we had it. People couldn't believe how good things looked, including Brown Road, actually. I got 2 comments from Brown Road residents. So that was a very worthwhile expenditure. And Matt and Paul did a great job for the limited amount of time they had it. And it's good to hear people actually look at something we did and they're happy about it. So
money's worth out of
we got our money's worth out of it for sure.
And it
right.
also shows the need for the piece of equipment because it allows them to work better.
Well, they work better and, yeah, I mean, it just gives them, they have a day where they don't have anything more important to do. They can jump in the machine and go cover an entire road worth of
Exactly.
ditching. It's worth having.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? I think we did, right?
Yes.
Okay, then all in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.